What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I got a haul video for you today. Not a super big haul video because I didn't go to the bins today. I just went to a couple of local thrifts, one being the Goodwill and another one being like kind of like a mom and pop one, but it's one of our local honey holes. So I'll get right into it. First thing first, I got two hats. One is a Massimo, which is kind of like it's a more modern one, but this brand was really popular in the Y2K area, which is really trendy right now. Paid 50 cents for it, and I should get about $15 to $20 for this visor. Next one is your basic Adidas hat, kind of dad style. They call it mom style, dad style, college style. Those are good keywords to put in your title. This is a slightly older one. So it may be vintage. That helps it out a little bit, but not a ton. Not for this era of Adidas. It might be the Y2K era. So I might be able to get 15-20 bucks for it. This was also 50 cents. These were $4. These are Levi's 505s, kind of a bigger waist size. You wanna kind of stay out of the 40s. This is a 44, 42. But black definitely sells better than blue. You can tell that these are vintage because they have the paper tag in the back. They have the style code on the back. They also have the style code back here on the button. Correct me if I'm wrong, but right here, if you can see it, is the 9th month of 1999. So these would be from 1999. I paid, if I'm correct about that, the tags do change a little bit on the cut date. At one point it was month, year, and then they moved to the number of what week it was in the year, and then the year following that. So these were $4. I should be able to get about $30 for them. Good brand to look out for is J. Crew. Wasn't a great brand for me historically for a long time, but they've been doing really well for me. One thing about J. Crew is they always have a model number, so they're easy to look up. You can just tap it into Google. It'll bring you right up like their exact description and what they are, which makes it super easy to make great titles. These were $2, and I should get about 25 to 35 for them. They're just like chino slacks. They're flat front meaning they're not like pleated in the front here, which means they don't have the creases. They're just kind of flat and plain and basic. That's what gives it that chino style. And that's another good keyword to put in the title is chino. Another brand that does really well for me, and because of the same case, they is LL Bean, and they also put their exact model numbers. If you can see it right there, there's the model, which you can put it into Google. It'll pop up exactly what they are, what brand, what model, and everything like that, and you can pretty much just copy and paste the title. So these were $3. I should get about 20 to 25 for them. These are also flat front, slash pockets, and just pants, slacks, trousers, all good keywords in the title. This right here is not a brand I would typically pick up, Town and Craft. What I did like about it is it's a kind of like a chunky knit, which is just thicker, like a thicker knitted kind of crocheted type. And it's got like an Aztec print to it, which also sells really well. The combination of the two is really good despite the brand. And it's actually really quality. It's a good brand. They make good quality products. It's just not that appealing, but they do make good product. I'm actually gonna hang on to this until the upcoming season because I'm getting this stuff super cheap right now. So I will hoard it and put it away in my warehouse and post it come September. And I believe, what I paid for it was $3. This stuff is even going to be going on half price here pretty soon at some of my local thrifts because it's winter stuff and they're going to try to push it. But I should be able to get $40 to $50 for this come September. And I could list it now and possibly get that same amount. but there's gonna come a certain point where it's gonna move really, really slow. And I would like to get top dollar for it. I have the space for it, so it's really not a big deal to me to buy it and store it. Another pair of slacks. These are dress pants. A lot of times you can tell because they're made out of a thinner material. They'll be cuffed on the bottom like this. These are made out of wool. I always kind of look to see if they're made in Italy, which these are made in Italy. This brand, I'm gonna butcher this name. Lanificio di Talengo. Here you go. Do your best. So the first word in it is the brand. The next one is one of their models, their styles, or whatever. So they do actually make higher end ones for this brand. I paid, what did I pay for these guys? There it is. $3. I should get about 20 to 25 for them, but some do better than that. These are Levi's 511s. They are kind of like a burgundy purple color, a white tab. So I pick up a lot of Levi's as long as the price is right. These were $3. I wasn't going to pass on that. And the weird colors like this, or off colors, do really well for me. The greens, the pinks, the blues, the reds, the purples, always seem to do really well for me. Decent size, 29, 30. I like them both to be kind of in the 30s. But these should still sell for me for about 25 bucks. Hoodies I will sell all year long, especially college hoodies. This one is Montana Grizzlies. It needs a good washing because it's got some marks on it. It doesn't look like they're stains, just marks. Because I'll sell hoodies from colleges all year long because college classrooms are cold. And you got, the college parents and stuff like that. They just seem to sell well all year long. This was $3. I always look to get about 25 for my hoodies. This was a good find today. These are some new old stock meaning still brand new, but it's vintage old Sony headphones. They were $15, so I did pay up for them, but I should get about 50 to 70, so like 60 bucks. And they had a phenomenal sell-through rate of like over 100%. So this was a good find. Sony is a great brand to pick up. Sony sells, like the bearded picker says, Sony sells. This is a Honeywell thermostat. Always pick up thermostats as long as the price is right. And you can look them up. They can do really, really well sometimes. Some thermostats go in the hundreds. This one, not so much. This one I'll get about $20 for, but it was just $1, and they're very, very easy lifting. Definitely be on the lookout for thermostats, especially like digital touchscreen ones. They do super, super well because those are the more modern ones. So this is an older Texas Instruments calculator. It would do better. It's got the case, which is great. It would do better if it had the little manual with it too. It would put it about the $25 range. Because of the way it sits right now, there's a sticker I got to get off, or I might just leave it on there. I don't care. It was 25 cents. I should get about $15 for it. With the manual, I'll get about 25. But the newer Texas Instruments, the TI-83s, the TI-84 pluses and stuff like that, those do super, super well. And the Hewitt-Packard calculators do really well. There's some vintage Hewitt-Packard ones that do extremely well. Hundreds of dollars for them. Look them up, you would be surprised. This is really nothing special, except for the fact that it's just an old vintage wooden tennis racket. Sometimes you can look these up and they can be worth a little bit more money than, your typical ones. They typically don't move very fast, and you typically don't get much for them even if you do sell them. What I do is, as long as I can get them for about $2 or $3 or less, I'll collect up to about 4 and I'll sell them in lots of 4. And I'll typically sell them for about 40 bucks. I do that because they get sold to like man caves or bars or anything. It's basically I'm selling them as a decorative piece, and I'll consistently get about $40 for a lot of 4 of them. So old wooden tennis rackets for like decorative pieces. But look them up first, because there is a few outliers that do go for decent money. If they go for over 25 bucks, then I'll sell them by themselves. This is a Wounded Warrior hat. I got this at the Goodwill. This was $2. The Wounded Warrior stuff does really well for me. This should sell for about 20 bucks. These are another pair of vintage Levi's. These are actually Levi's silver tab. You'll see that tag in there. And the back tag will be silver as well. I paid up for these. I paid $13 for these at the Goodwill, but they should sell for me for about 40 bucks, and they should sell really fast. Levi's silver tabs do really well. This is a Hawaiian shirt. I did pay up for this Hawaiian shirt as well. I paid $7, which I typically wouldn't unless it's a more appealing brand, which this one is. I do like this brand, Pacific Legend Apparel. It's made in the US. I think it's made in Hawaii, actually. And a lot of the stuff is vintage. I should probably get, I would say 30 to 40, sometimes $50 for these, depending on the pattern. All right, I do pick these up often as well. This is a Bidford blanket controller, like a heating blanket, electric blanket. This one isn't like the best one out there, but it was $1. I should sell it for about $15. Look out for heating blanket controllers. Not so much the heating pads, but the heating blankets, they do better. Let's see. And this is a King Cobra S9 iron golf club. I paid $5 for it. I should get $35 for this one. There was actually 4 of these. There was a 9 iron, a 7 iron, a 6 iron, and then this one. The other ones didn't have the most sell-through rate, the best sell-through rate, and they weren't going for as much, maybe like 15 to 20, which is just not gonna meet my margin, paying $5 for it. Sometimes it depends on the club, which this one has a P on the bottom, which means it's a pitching wedge. So if you see a W, an S, or a P, means it's just a wedge, a pitching wedge, gap wedge, so a G also for a gap wedge, and a sand wedge. Wedges get lost a lot more often than other clubs, and they get used a lot more. So they definitely have a better sell-through rate than a lot of other irons. And King Cobra is a good brand too. So $5, this should go for 35. I got 2 more items. This is a, this is a Prince tennis racket. All right, I'm back. I got interrupted real quick, but where I was at was, let's see, this was found at the local thrift. Tennis rackets. I sell a good amount of tennis rackets. This one is a Prince triple threat. I paid $1 for it, and it should sell for $100. Really good find. One thing about tennis rackets that you can tell, and this is for the majority of them, is where it connects right here to the outside. It'll all be one piece. That's not a guarantee that it's a good tennis racket to pick up, but those ones are typically the more expensive ones, and those are the ones that sell better. Not saying that the 2-piece ones, there is your outliers that do sell better, but I rarely look them up unless they look like they're like brand new and they're a little bit on the heavier side. I don't typically look up the 2 pieces, but Prince, Head, Wilson, Pro Staff. There's another one that starts with a B, but I don't know how to pronounce it. But the 1 pieces, look them up. So $1 should sell for $100. And then I have, oh, here we go. It fell over when everything else fell over. This is a Nike driver, one wood. It is an SQ Sumo driver. I paid $25 for this, so I definitely paid up for it. But it should sell fairly quickly for $100. So there's still a really big margin there, so I don't mind paying up, and it should sell fairly quickly. One thing that does matter though with these drivers is the shaft. So this is graphite. A lot of times it'll say it right there on the shaft. It'll give you all the information on the shaft. Here, it's gonna, if you're not familiar with golf clubs, it's gonna seem like a different language. It's gonna basically explain to you the flex, the maker, the kickback. So, and a lot of your flexes are gonna be like ladies flex, which sometimes will have an L. You'll have a regular flex, which will have an R, stiff, which will have an S. But try not to get confused between the two. That's why you want to do your research and learn these things, because sometimes you can have an S and it could stand for senior. So seniors are really flexible. The stiff or extra stiff sometimes won't have a lot of movement, and then regular will be like in between. A women's club will be similar to a seniors club. So one of the reasons why this one does sell for $100, or maybe even a little bit more, is because of the shaft that's on it. And this is the original shaft that came with it. Somebody didn't put an aftermarket shaft on there. It's the shaft that they sold with this club itself, and it's what people are looking for. So this is the Nike Sasquatch Sumo, the SQ Sumo 2. You can look it up. They sell for, some can go like 75, but some can also go like 140. So I'm just gonna put it in the middle for $100 and try to recoup that 25 that I spent on it. So that's another good find. Oh, I found another one. Some stuff got buried. So I do pick bowling balls up. So more so on this one was the bowling bag. These old leather or vinyl bowling bags do really well. I typically get about $25 for them, depending on the brand, the pattern, the color. This one, most of them that you're gonna find are Brunswick. This one is actually a different Stebco. Stebco is this one. Had a timer go off, so we got interrupted again. So this one's Stebco. It was $3. It did have the bowling ball in it, which this is a... So it was $3. It had the bowling ball, the bowling bag, and some bowling shoes in it. More so, my best seller right here is going to be the bowling bag. It's going to sell the fastest for me. So I'll get the $3 back from the bowling bag. So that 3 should turn into 25 or 20. That's not the most appealing color or brand. Probably some of your best ones are going to be like Nike bowling bags that are that vinyl leather. Even more so is like if you can find Nike bowling shoes, look up comps on Nike bowling shoes. Nike bowling shoes, depending on the color, they can go over $100 for vintage Nike bowling shoes. So anyhow, this is a Brunswick Black Diamond. This is just an old plastic rubber ball. The technology is like really, really dated. Not my favorite bowling ball to sell, but it will sell. I'll probably get between 15 and 25. I have it. I have the boxes that I ship these in, which is a 10 by 10 by 10. So I'll go ahead and list this, and I might have to sit on it for a while though. And it does take up room, so think twice about it. Some people would just disregard it or donate it or something like that. But I've already got the listing made. All I have to do is really copy it and take some more photos, and I'll put it on my digital scale, see how much it weighs. It's good to take a picture of the weight on your digital scale of these bowling balls, because sometimes they're not exactly 13, 14, 15, 10 pounds. They'll be the weight and then a little more. And on the title, I'll typically just round up and then put in the description exactly what the weight is, along with the photo of what it says on your digital scale. So we also have these, if I can get them out. Didn't even look at them, so there is, well, I glanced at them, I saw that they weren't Nike, so I was like, eh. But you can sell vintage bowling shoes. So I'm not sure what this brand is. They definitely need some new inner soles. The bottom sole looks okay on this one. It looks like it's all still together, not completely falling apart. I could probably get 15 to 25 for them. So really, all in all, $3. And on the high end of things, I could possibly turn the 3 pieces into $75. So, but there's some valuable bowling balls out there. So check your bowling balls. And lastly, if I can find it after the fall, oh, here we go. Is a bag of remotes. There was nothing that I noticed that really stood out. Just a lot of comments. I stay away from the cable box ones because they just don't sell. You can actually a lot of times you can get free ones if you just call your cable company or satellite company. You can call them and tell them you lost it or whatever, and they'll just send you another one. So some of these also, so like here's this RCA one. This is probably for one of those big tube TVs, the older TVs or whatever. There's no model number on these. Take your Google Lens, take a picture of it, scroll through, I'm sorry, and you can typically match them up. If the sell-through rate isn't there and the price isn't there, then I wouldn't even bother with it. Check inside, make sure your batteries. See, there's batteries in here, but sometimes they are exploded and they erode everything. Sometimes you can save them, sometimes you can't. So I wouldn't bother with them. This one in particular, though, this is a new one. Ones like this that kind of look like this, and see, it's got like a rotator right there button. Or a lot of fan remotes. Fan remotes can do really well. So look out for your fan remote. So I got high hopes for this one. This, again, no model number. It's brand new. So I'll have to look it up, and I'll use Google Lens to look it up. You can also use the eBay app to look it up. And that helps sometimes, but Google Lens seems to do better. Here's another RCA one, no model number. Yeah, like I said, I didn't see anything spectacular, just a basic TV, VCR, DVD, combos, old tube remotes, what else? Fan remotes. Some of my favorite ones to find are Bose remotes and the Sleep Number bed remotes. I've sold those for over $100. Sometimes Bose remotes can go for pretty high also. But I pay 25 cents a piece for these. There's probably 20 to 25 in here. I might throw away half of them, and then this half of them, we'll see. But at that price, I don't even look them up. I just disregard the ones that I know are not, and the ones that I do know are good, I grab, and the ones that I have no clue, I just grab them anyways because it's only 25 cents. It's not really hurting me that much. But that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this haul. I hope you learned some stuff. If I was wrong about anything, don't be afraid to throw some comments in there and correct me on what your knowledge is on the product. If you learned anything, if you enjoyed it, thumbs up, thumbs down, doesn't really matter to me either way. I just do this for fun, to kind of connect with other resellers and maybe bring some people some entertainment. I like watching these videos, so why not? But thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one. Okay.